We are John and Ellie, the Barefoot Doctors. We lost our new Leopard 50 catamaran to fire, so we began our search for the perfect performance catamaran for sailing us around the world. After 4 decades of sailing experience, we are very clear about what we want. So join us as we explore new horizons, stretch the boundaries in yacht design, and build the ultimate catamaran. Jump on board for this adventure, and together, who knows what we can achieve. Because life is better barefoot. Hi folks, welcome back to another Barefoot Doctors episode, and we hope you've had a good week so far. And we're really excited about this episode because what have we got? What's happening?
Well, we're in Cape Town, and of course this is where all the leopards are produced and come out into the water to be fitted out and specced. And today we are going to show you around the Leopard 50 that has been labelled as the most highly specced Leopard 50 in the world. It should be very exciting. Before we go on, tell them about Patreon, honey.
I would love to. So, if you don't know, we are now offering Patreon, which is going completely to charity. But if you want to find out more about Patreon and how you can help save the world and help us do what we do, then go onto Patreon page, the link is somewhere here, and find out all about it.
Okay, let's get on and see that Leopard 50.
Lovely doctors. Come on board, but promise not to burn my boat down. Welcome aboard, Utopia.
Thanks very much. So Kevin's going to take us around his boat and show us all these amazing innovations he's put on.
We are here with the wonderful Kevin and the beautiful Melinda, and they are the owners of the 50-foot Leopard Utopia here in Cape Town. We thought it would be lovely to introduce you to these folk because when our Leopard first burned, our 50, these guys reached out to us, they are subscribers on the channel, reached out to us and offered us for us to take over their 50 that was in line to be finished. So that was just very humbling for us, and we were so touched.
Amazing.
And you know, you guys are just real troopers, and it's people like you that restore your faith in humanity. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for that gesture. That was wonderful. We've got Melinda here, and she is in Australia right now, and we're going to start the interview because apparently I waffle. I don't believe it, but apparently I do.
No chance to draw breath yet, but hey.
So I'm going to go behind the camera and you guys can do the interview, yeah?
Yep, okay. So Kevin, nice to see you again.
Cool.
And hi Melinda, how are you going?
Hi.
So we have actually heard that Utopia is the best spec Leopard 50 ever.
I've been told that.
So we thought it'd be a really good idea for us to show everybody what you've done and the reasons for what you've done.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be really interesting for everybody because you've put in some really amazing innovations here. So do you want to just go through what you're, in general terms, like what have you been trying to achieve with this Leopard 50?
Well, I think mostly it's being able to do absolutely everything we want to when living at anchor. I suppose having all the comforts, I mean, even insofar as things that most people would say are not necessary, like the logo, the backlit logo.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you've seen the return water. You know, that was an idea I'm pretty proud of, as simple as it is.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And the list is so long, John. It's just it's a huge list. Yeah, I mean, we can pick on certain items if you
Okay,
wish.
so let's start with the return water, seeing as you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've done.
Well, it was in a conversation with Melinda, and I was talking about the fact that it just didn't feel right that we're throwing fresh water that we've made on a water maker straight back into the sea. It was crazy. So all we did was we drilled a hole next to the sink, put on a pipe bigger than, I think it was a 1-inch pipe, and we just ran that pipe straight back down into the water tanks.
Yeah, and that's such a great idea because that wastage of water is criminal, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey Melinda, do you want to say anything about the boat while you're with us?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back there. And Kevin's kept me on video chat every single day, going through what they've done. And so I've been, part of the build right from the start. So yeah, can't wait to get back there to see how it's all turned out.
Okay, no, that's great. And I mean, it's a real shame that you can't be here with Kevin as all this stuff is being done.
She's here in spirit.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously
Another really important thing that I've done is probably as a result of my paranoia of not being able to see forward. In terms of being able to see, there's the forward-looking sonar, I put on the garment. I think it's best at either slow situations in shallow water. or you know, being able to warn you far ahead when you're in deeper water. As you know, in that regard, Mark and I are still putting on the bow protector, you know, the little
that's right.
ramming device so that we can, you know, hit logs. The other thing is the FLIR camera, thermal and infrared, right? So you know, you're obviously able to look as far ahead as you want. If the water's clear, you're going to be able to see in it. But rather than someone standing on the bow, even if you can't see very far into the water, we can then zoom down and actually look, you know, from it up top, you're going to likely to see more.
We got that idea from a trip that we made to Harvey Bay.
That's right.
We were in our previous little motorboat. The tide was going out. We were in very shallow water, and we didn't know the area at all. Pouring with rain, dark clouds, so you couldn't see from the depth of the water. And I had to sit on the roof of the boat.
So this is a very high resolution FLIR, not the commonly used one.
It is.
From what
ours is the M364C, and I think the C is quite important. But I tell you what, in the apartment here, Wendy's in their apartment, if they were to put some flowers on their table in the lounge room, we would be able to zoom in and tell them exactly what flowers. I said, stick a note on your table, tilt it up a little bit, and I'll read it to you.
So that's really great for, say, if you're approaching an island and you're really in the dark and you really want to know, like, how far away it is with your naked eye. That kind of, it's always deceptive, isn't it?
Oh, it has. I mean, that's just one use. The Melinda on the bow, Melinda on the, you know, it replaces. It's a Melinda replacement.
So you can be drinking cocktails in the seat.
Yeah, but of course, when it comes to seeing, I mean, this thing permanently scans the horizon, and you can set it to say, if you see anything, alarm me.
Please,
you know, or whatever. And of course, I've got them going down to the cabins. Because when you set up the helm, and it's a dark night, and you keeping watch, what do you see? You don't see anything. But this thing, you see everything.
That's
I mean, you really do. Pitch dark, you see every wave, and also you're seeing it from crow's nest position. So I promise you, the perspective that you get ahead of you is just amazing, and the fact that you can actually see it.
You know what, guys, if you can't afford to get a super duper thing like this, you can always find where Kevin and Melinda are and just buddy boat with them and put them out in front.
There we go, absolutely. Then on top of that, it's lights. So I put on the spotlight, which is a joystick control spotlight, and a spotlight is what it says it is. It's a spot.
Up the mast or on the base?
Halfway up the mast.
Yeah.
And it gives you a spot, but it lets you see off to the side if you need to and what have you. Then I've got headlights forward, so exactly the same as a car, just more powerful. And then I've got what I refer to as after headlights, if you wish. So exactly the same thing looking back.
Rear lights.
Rear lights, so there they are over there. And at night you haven't got perspective. It's where you are relative to things. So being able to hit that switch and see backwards is important. The big daddy of all of the look forward stuff in terms of lighting is the Aussie steady lights that I've got. STEDI.
Okay.
And I kind of looked at all the reviews as you do, and you know, all the real boys that had a little bit of extra money had them on their utes. And they just have one. They just have one.
The roof shooters.
There you go. And I put the three up there. Local guys made a beautiful bracket that the three are mounted in.
On the halfway
up the mast. In fact, the spotlight's mounted on top of that bracket. It's amazing. It really, really is amazing. Bottom line is this boat is designed to see in any situation. See under the water, you know, ships on the horizon, every possibility. It's my paranoia. You're the psychologist. Tell me about this shit.
That's okay. We'll have a private word later.
One of the most functional of all of these toys, electronic type toys, is actually the analog stuff. And it's that box that I've had made with all the analog duplicated dials. And the way this is designed is that's port, that's starboard. So you've got port fuel, starboard fuel. Port water tank, starboard water tank. Port holding tank, starboard holding tank, forward holding tank. And then I just put a clock in there just to fill up the space. That's port start battery, starboard start battery. That's the 12 volt house battery bank. And this company hasn't yet got a 48 volt gauge for my 48 volt bank. I've put a lot of, call it domestic lighting on if you wish. Nav light, steaming light, tricolour and anchor light. I don't want to open the DV board for that. I'm sitting here, I just want to turn that on at night. I added on some domestic ones, so spreader lights, the mast strobe, there's some strobes of the so that extra red lights low down.
Oh, yeah.
Sugar scoop lights.
Oh, nice.
Actually side lights, almost identification lights. So
All
I've
right.
got 5 little stainless steel underwater grade lights down each side and on one switch. When I switch it to position 1, I get 5 white lights. You switch it to position 2, you get the blue, boy eraser color. And then when you switch it to position 3, you actually get, I know this is illegal, but you get 5 port red lights down the port side, and the 5 green
lights.
down the other side.
Also, the light at the stern when we come back from wherever in the dinghy, we've got a remote that
yes.
puts the light on.
But right up here in the corner, you'll see 3 little lights, and the same thing on the opposite side of the solar arch. One of them is a reversing light, controllable from the helm. So when you're reversing onto a dock like this and you need to see the dock. The other one is controlled here at the sugar scoop. So if you just need a light, because you're getting onto the dinghy, you can see the lights coming on and off, and it's happening on both sides, and I can switch it from either this side or from that side. And the third one is controlled remotely from the dinghy when we're coming up and we need to see what we're doing when we get here.
We won't come into an anchorage unnoticed.
We ripped out the Leopard 50, the factory's utility room.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it's a very pretty looking room, but it's not a very functional. They waste space in the design. Melinda wanted, I think from the Happy Together video, she wanted the washer dryer separately. Something about wrinkling when it's a washer dryer in one, the clothes come out more wrinkled or something, I think.
Yeah, and also it takes a smaller load. So if you do a wash load, you put whatever into the washer. You got to take half out and dry it. It can't dry the whole load at the same time.
Yeah, and also what we found too, because both of them, the 45 and the 50, are the same brand, we found that it doesn't really spin very well. So the clothes or the sheets that are coming out of the washing machine are still quite dripping wet. And I'm careful to put only, very few clothes in it. I don't overload the washing machine, but it doesn't spin very well. And then when it goes on drying, it has to dry it from that dripping wet kind of.
Well, that's obviously really good advice for other leopards. If you've got a Bunnings in Australia, there's a brand of these plastic suitcases for tools and what have you, called Tactics. They're really, really good quality. And if you can take, all of your nuts and bolts and tools and haberdashery and, all sorts of other stuff and have a whole lot of these, you're going to use your space really, really well.
Better,
Well, we'll build cabinetry to fit 30 of these and 4 big ones into the utility room. So far, just to account for the space in the utility room, there's washing machine, drying machine, all of these trays or drawers, if you wish, for whatever. And then also we put in for crossings, a regular domestic 220 volt chest freezer.
Right.
So just for crossings. Right. But it turns out that the power draw on this thing, and it's a cheap 3,000 rand, so what's that, 150, 170 US dollar chest freezer.
Right.
The power draw is nearly nothing, because in South Africa they have all this load shedding stuff. So they're really focusing on if the thing is cold, how long can you have no power for, and it'll still say cold. Now this is 38 hours, and to get it ice cold takes 3 hours. And I think it used 570 watts. So using 570 watts for 3 hours to get 38 hours of frozen food. On top of it, the other thing we've done is we put in a bit of an insert just forward of it, so the whole space over the top of the chest freezer can be used as a bed. Okay, so it gives me 110 wide, and then the length is an angled length, it's 205, and the other side is 175. And then of course there's still a lot of other spaces, like little drawer spaces. Our safe is going to go in there and be hidden behind something.
And then the mattress.
Yes.
For that bed.
Yeah. So the Leopard give you 2 mattresses on the top. Two
lounges.
It took the mattress that we're going to have to make for that bed in the utility room, so that when we got somebody there, we just go get the mattress from there.
There's a monster amount of space that's covered in solid cabinetry that you didn't even know existed. Which is amazing. We found so many. Unbelievable.
That's right.
When there's such limited amount of space on a boat, you'd think that they would try and sort of maximize it.
So you end up with a lot more functionality and space out of this this room than the factory gives you. Another thing that's being built is a study desk for Melinda's daughter.
Oh yeah.
So it's obviously under construction. This is actually a computer monitor, but also doubles as a TV.
How much solar do you have on the boat?
3.2 kilowatts, so that's 8 400-watt sun power panels.
Okay, and your batteries?
The battery is 800 amp hours of 48 volt, which is the equivalent to 3,200 at 12 volt.
Yeah.
And then 600 amp hours of 12 volt battery. So that's the sort of
to run the other stuff.
To run all of the regular stuff.
Okay. Wow, that's huge.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin.
Yes.
The doctor's car they need to run. They're supposed to get clamped.
Oh,
okay, thank you.
Okay. Leave everything here. As we put on a lot of tabs here, you can see these little tabs, in order to run a washing line all the way that way.
Oh, yeah.
So we can actually run 4 lines this way and that way and just quickly take them out. The factory only give you one latch to hold the davit. They only give you the one on the starboard side. I've added the port side latch. So when this wasn't here, you can see what's happening, how the whole thing is twisting.
Yeah.
And also it's just a security thing. If that one goes, you're not out at sea living on just these thin lines.
This is a high field 360.
Yeah.
With
and then an MFD here. So again, this is about seeing. I forgot that. So when we're on an island, it's night time and we need to work out, we've gone far away, how to get back. And it's a $300 or $370 option. It's just an absolute must. And then inside the seat here, I've got permanently 2 handies, but VHF radios. So wherever we are with the dinghy, if we need to get back to communicate with the person on the boat or with each other, we can.
You've got the all-around sun protection and waterproofs.
In South Africa, they don't make sure that the enclosures can roll up into this groove.
Yeah.
And as you can see here, so there's the enclosure and there's the shade.
Yep.
And then additionally, what I've done is I've put, using the same shade stuff, mosquito net, if you wish, over the smileys, so that we can open it up, open the smiley up, drop the mosquito net, be getting air inside, but not be getting the mosquitoes.
Yeah, yeah.
So firstly, the distance between the front of the seat and the steering wheel when you get the boat is 37 centimeters. On a Leopard 45, it's actually 45 centimeters.
Oh, wow.
So I've had this moved back. The seat's normally up here, this front part is here. So I've had this front part moved back to there. So all of this was built here, it was built up. This fiberglass was built up so that I could move it back. And then additionally, I put the support bar at the back because so the chain plate over here, coming through at an angle with the factory one, which is only a little thing over here.
Yeah. Forward-looking sonar.
Yeah. That one is just a 12-inch HDMI screen.
And what's that, a spare iPod or something?
Yeah, that there's for just a pad.
Entertainment.
Or whatever. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. This one I put on as well, because you're always standing here talking to whoever. So this is part of the panic button.
Yeah.
And I hit a panic button, one here,
Yeah.
one over there, and one over there, all go off, as well as one in the cockpit, and a siren, so that when the beam is crossed, these go off, the siren goes off.
So you're talking about security from
just security.
theft?
Yeah, from theft.
People coming aboard.
And the other thing I'll have separate is just the camera system, which gives you the ability remotely, when you're not on the boat, just to have a look at what's happening. So I had an additional handle put on here, but this is normally a U-shaped bench. We've taken this bench away so that stream can just get in very easily. An ottoman here, ottoman there. We get an extra ottoman for there and one for there. So I just feel there's more space. I mean, it is absolutely a must. But when they use it as a bed now, we've got to do that. Wired to every cabin. There's a 16 terabyte redundant drive server. So if one drive fails, you just pull it, it's mirrored basically. Yeah. And over here is a printer drawer. So this is also set up to put a DVD player, Blu-ray player. Now I know everyone says, oh my gosh, who's got a Blu-ray player? But I've got 500 DVDs. So when without internet, we play it from there. It comes out to the TV here and to all of the cabins. This here for me is hugely important. You remember you didn't have this.
No, that's right.
And when I'm underway, I mean, it's just great.
Yeah.
Another thing that was the best plug in the whole house is that one that I put in. I tell you what, it's great. Yeah, so we're extending the Corian to, to be straight along here, to sit on that edge and sit on that edge. It'll be with wood underneath, so we can just slide it out and slide it in. So, added in this sort of stuff, raised that over there.
Oh yeah.
Put in, there's actually space under here now, so you guys will remember.
And that was just dead space before.
It was dead space. This was lower.
Yeah.
And this thing wasn't as far back. It was here, and it was
Yeah.
just dead space, totally dead space. So we extended that as well. Remember, you don't have that roof thing. We put that roof thing on here. So it normally comes to here, and we put that extension on it. And again, excuse the mess. Yeah, the extra drawer, which everyone does, it seems, except you. I think Happy Together was one of the first to do it. Since then, over here, almost every boat, they put every 50 they put this drawer on.
Yeah.
So here, this one's a little bit further along. You can see they hung these doors yesterday. And then, of course, the top on that will work exactly like this. So you can see how this has got that border.
Yeah.
It'll have this border here.
Yeah.
This top will flip up. But additionally, it'll have a piece that flaps down that I can then flap out.
But that used to be a hollow.
Yeah, this is hollow. You sit at it. It's the vanity. This here is just a blank panel, and all the space is wasted. I've added in diesel heaters. That's so I can run heating off of diesel.
Lighting?
Okay, so the factory, they give you one switch which turns on this light and that light, and I split it into two, so I can separate the floor light. And then I said, well, look, I want to be able to operate the floor one or the ceiling one from either that side of the bed or this side of the bed. So it's like that throughout the boat. And of course,
Here is the Starlink antenna, nice and neat and unobtrusive on the steering cabin roof. This is a real game changer for cruising yachties.
Okay guys, so we hope you've really enjoyed this episode, and we'd like to just extend a heartfelt thanks to Kevin and Melinda for showing us around the boat, giving us their time and also their innovative ideas, because really this is what helps the whole sailing community. It's people like these guys that share their innovations, share their ideas and concepts out to the broader community that we all can benefit. So that's just awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
So we hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next time. All the best, guys.
Bye from us.
Thanks for watching, guys, and if you like what we do, show us the love and hit the like button. Then hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you don't miss out on your regular fix. Then kick off your shoes and you can come barefoot with us.